Oh, here we go again. Today is May 6th. It is officially garden season. I wanted to bring you guys along with us today to see what we're doing here in the garden. Farmer John is currently in the background leveling the cornfield and getting ready. We'll be planting out our corn today since the overnight temperatures look like they're done having any type of freeze or frost issue. So I think there's a few tomato varieties that I might be able to start planting out today. For sure tomorrow. It's going to be a little sketchy tonight here at about 47 degrees, but I had to empty everything out of the greenhouse again because it was over 90 degrees in there at 8 o'clock this morning. So I had to promptly come out, open it up, and then drag it all out and give it a good water. So let's go take a walk through the garden and see what we plan on working on today. About you guys, but I could not tear myself away from the coronation this morning. I have it recording on 4 different networks. Gosh, I know some people are not pro-royal, some are, but with all of that aside, just just what it is, I thought was so amazing. I do have English lineage, and supposedly somewhere along the line on my mother's side, one of my either great or great-great-grandfathers was actually a beefeater at Buckingham Palace. But you never know what stories people are telling you. I wish that I had the resources to check into that and see if it was really a true story. But right now I'm going to tell you a true story. I want to show you my tomatoes and how wonderful they look. I'll tell you, this free tomato that I got from Baker Creek, this Black Beauty, incredible. Just look at the beautiful stems. Everything is coming along nicely. Here's one of my Kellogg's. The canopy is turning nice and dark green. So I think I did something right here. This is a Chadwick cherry. They all have nice thick stems. They're not, they don't have the same type of leaf structure and canopy and stems as the ones in the store. So, I'm not really sure if it's because of a lighting issue, but they are very tall, but I would not consider them leggy. I mean, some of them are getting their flowers already. Here's another Black Beauty. Look at the incredible color of this plant. So they're not all this dark, but this one in particular, it looks really very happy. You can see it's got all its fuzzies on its stem. And everything is like, Mommy, please put me out into the garden. Everything looks pretty happy to me. So today we'll be doing extra reinforcement on the trellis we built over the last few weekends. One of the beams is starting to just twist and warp a little bit, so I've come to the conclusion that with the sheer weight and height that these particular species or cultivars or varieties, whatever you want to call it, that this type of tomatoes is going to be. They're going to be extraordinarily heavy. So we are going to go ahead and create cross beams on the top, and then we'll be adding hog panel to it so that everything can grow and be nice and secure. And I'm sorry, I got distracted. I see Farmer John over there. He's up to something, so let's go see what he's doing. All right, so you totally disrupted what I was saying because I saw you over here. So it's nice how you changed to a nice smile for the camera. I'm just gonna strap a GoPro onto my forehead so that when I talk to you, you'll smile all the time instead of saying nasty things. Farmer John, okay. So what's going on in here? Well, why are you back here at my tomato garden?
I'm not at your tomato garden, I'm at the compost garden.
Yeah.
So I was looking here, it magically has new stuff in it.
It does. You know why? Because the compost containers that are growing inside are at capacity, and I didn't know where to put it. So I thought, what a better place to put things that need to be composted than
in the
inside of a compost bin.
Oh, it's a good idea. I was about to put my compost.
Huh?
So I was about to put my compost.
What
in
compost? The spinach?
The spinach.
You can't put the seeds in there.
No, but I can take the leaves off and put it in there.
Okay. So how do you think it looks overall?
That's hard to say with all that stuff in there.
There is fresh stuff, but underneath it looks nice and dark.
Good.
All right, so I managed to get Farmer John to stay far away from my tomatoes. My children, I'm a helicopter mom for my tomatoes. So we're taking a walk right now back here to the little corn bed that Farmer John has been working on so that we can show you the process of preparing to sow our corn kernels. Now this bed is where we traditionally grow our corn every single year. It's much bigger than it looks. It's not gigantic. It's not a field by any means, but John still does it manually, and I know we keep getting the same question over and over about why don't you have a small rototiller. We're not really into tilling, so this is, you know, nice and loose soil. This is all that beautiful leaf compost that we just bought, plus native earth, and John will amend this with, why don't you tell everyone what it is that you amend with, since the corn growing is really your thing. All I do is water it.
So with the in this corn bed, after a while I'll actually put some blood meal, because corn's a heavy feeder, so it will deplete any soil, even the richest of nitrogen filled soils, out of its actual nitrogen. So you have to feed it a few times. Vegetative state 6, and we've talked about that before, and we'll get into a corn video where it actually reaches a point where it's at, there's 6 V's in it, if you ever see corn when it grows. 6
sections of the vegetation.
That's
and
right.
And that 6th section indicates what?
That indicates that it's time to hill and time to feed.
Okay, so you don't pre-fertilize any of this soil before you put the seed kernel down?
Absolutely not. Not when you're actually putting down good compost. If you have good soil, good compost, you do not need to feed it immediately.
So what is your process then here of being prepared, besides leveling it out so nicely and turning it over and getting it nice and loose? What is the next step that you'll take to grow the corn?
So we're going to hill it. So the soil is going to be hilled into rows. We tried, you know, there's a lot of different thoughts about how far away to take and to put your corn and everything. What we do is 9 by 9. So every row is going to be 9 inches away, and every corn stalk will be 9 inches away.
Okay.
And that's plenty of space for it to grow in ground. Some people say, nope, put it 12 feet. Or 12 inches, I'm sorry, not 12 feet. Goodness gracious, could you imagine that? But 12 inches away from each other. But we do 9.
So just to be clear then, so you're going to hill and then put your seed in.
That's correct.
Okay, and then later on as you go, you'll hill again and add fertilizer.
That's correct, yep.
All right, so today is just the beginning then, and Farmer John will be getting ready to get the corn in. I think we're past, what do you think about being past the freeze time and everything? Do you think today is safe, or are you going to look at the forecast?
I think it's good. I think the 10 days looking good. We're going to be, you know, no lower than in the 40s. So I think it's time.
By the time it germinates, we'll be past that.
That's right.
And did you feel the soil? Does the soil feel warm to you?
It's beautiful. I really couldn't feel it within my gloves, but it does feel warm, and it is warming up today. So yeah, so it's good soil. It's nice. It's not too warm, but it is very moist, and you can see how it falls apart. That's what you want in the soil.
Yeah, you want it nice and loose.
So.
All right. And, you know, you can see it's another high fashion day for us. I have on a dirty apron and an old dirty shirt. Look at Farmer John. He's rocking the look. We are runway ready, you guys, at all times.
Don't forget the socks.
Don't forget. Oh, let's get a close-up of the socks. Oh, yeah, we are rocking the look. You know this is a good pair of socks when they are clean and yet they still look dirty. You have to add an actual hole, some holes in the pants.
Of my holy
we got
pants.
it going on. These pants are probably 20 years old, so oh my god. But as we stated before, you guys, you're always going to see us in some kind of pants, boots, sleeves. Not only are, do we have to protect from the sun at this time of the year, we don't feel like we have a tick issue back here, but we are always hyper aware. John always has on a hat and sunglasses, and me with my fair Celtic skin, I should be wearing more hats, and I will eventually get into the hat thing. But anyway, it's going to be a full day of sun and sweating out here today, so we're going to get to work, you guys, and I'm going to bring you along with me. Check it out, you guys. These are the strawberries we moved from the green stalk into one of the galvanized beds a few weeks ago. And they are so happy. They're looking at me like, thank you, lady. Thank you for getting us out of that green stalk. Look, I'm not talking bad about the green stalk, you guys, but it just was not working out for our strawberries. So we counted our losses, and this is going to make up for it, because these strawberries are going to grow so much happier this year. So I'm glad we made this move. It's a little while later, and Farmer John has just come get me. I was inside preparing food, and he is ready to sow the corn kernels. So this is basically very simple for us. We just go ahead and we get either the Ferry and Morse or the Burpee brand, and we like to use the Silver Queen hybrid. We only plant one type of corn per year, because corn is notorious for cross-pollinating, and you really don't want to mix up corn like this. This is a white corn, so we want to make sure that it stays pure. This is a very sweet and delicious corn that we want to eat, whether it's on the grill, whether we steam it or chop it down into kernels and serve it that way. I like roasting it. There's all different sorts of stuff we do. So we just go ahead and we stay with one variety, and this is it. All right, so this corn, they're saying, is about 85 days. Now, because we're in a microclimate, we get corn in about 65 to 70 days. Now, this is only a small pack, and it seems like there's less in here this year. I usually buy the giant, more substantial pack, and I don't remember why I didn't this year, but we saved corn from last year. So you can hold that, and really, there's no difference. This is an ear that I put aside. The kernels pop off very, very easy, and the kernels from Ferry and Morse look exactly the same as the kernels that we went ahead and dried out and saved. So this year we're going to plant a combination of the two. So right now, here is a kernel of corn that we took off of a dried ear, and there is a kernel from Ferry and Morse. You really can't tell the difference. So we're going to go ahead and mix everything in, but we're going to make a line of demarcation so that we know what's what, and we can, keep a better monitor of it. I guess you just never really know what's happening with the big producers of seeds and these big companies and what it is that they're doing. We are only somewhat experienced in harvesting our own seed with certain varieties. And while I've been harvesting flower seeds for years, this is the first time that we're making a note, and we're trying to get more efficient and productive with actually harvesting our own seeds. So this year has been successful so far with germinating some of the keystone resistant bell peppers. But it's like I said before, I knew that I had problems germinating shishito that I harvested, California Golden Wonder, the Big Bertha. They just would not germinate. So, but luckily the keystone resistant was more than happy to cooperate and germinate for us. And let's hope that the corn is too.
She was getting all the bugs and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start right here.
So Farmer John has his own system here. We are totally different gardening style people, but it's okay. So why is it that you're using your little caveman tool here?
So each one of these little spokes on here, I don't know if you can see that really well. That's an inch.
Okay.
So we have to go down an inch and a half. So this is an inch, that's an inch and a half. Okay? Okay. So then if each one of these is an inch, if I count off, I can actually separate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So to right there is 9 inches. So I can separate.
It's nothing fancy. It's just your little caveman tool.
It's exactly right.
Okay.
And you can use anything you want. You can use a ruler. I mean, look, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be close, right? Okay. So that's all we're looking for.
All right. Well, let's see you pop a kernel in the ground, and then we'll go ahead and move on. So hopefully you guys, while we're watching Farmer John put this kernel in the ground here, he's just using his own little marking system. Now, corn needs to go into a certain length because as it pops up when we start talking to you about the vegetative state, go ahead. Something that, we'll be showing you if you've never grown corn before is that when corn grows, it grows up with brace roots, and it needs to it grows like this. So like if my fingers are the brace roots, it kind of grabs the hill that it's on, and it's important that the seed is deep enough so that the brace roots can come out and grab onto that hill. And the brace roots are what really holds everything up. So nothing too fancy. This is our system, but I'm going to go in and mark the date on the calendar that today is the day that we started our cornfield. And I think we'll see germination within a week because we have some rain coming overnight. There's going to be a shower, and then there's going to be some rain this week, so it's going to get a shot of nitrogen. In case you guys didn't know, the reason things grow so much better after it actually rains on them is because there is nitrogen in rain. So look at that. Look how nice and neat Farmer John keeps everything. So all right, we're going to let Farmer John work, and I'm going to move on to cucumbers. Okay, so Farmer John is outside sowing the corn kernels, and I don't know if you can see the birds are out in the aviary, and I'm trying to keep an eye on them while I get some work done in here, but I'm going through my cucumber inventory while I try to get my lunch down. I have to eat early. I intermittent fast. So if it looks like I've been eating, I have. It's very late for me. It's 1:45 in the afternoon, and I like to have the last of my meal down by noontime, and then I just fast until the next morning. It's just the way my body works. It's something that I've learned to do as a vegetarian. If you're interested in that or you have any questions, please comment below, and I will talk about that. At some point early on, someone did ask if we could do a video about what I eat in a day and what we eat in a day. We both basically eat the same exact thing. John just eats a little bit more. I haven't made that video yet because I don't eat very much, and what I do eat is not really what the average person would find to be exciting. So I'm struggling with that video for that reason, but it's something that it will be in the works, and I'll show you what it is that I have for breakfast and what my main meal consists of. But right now I'm pulling out my cucumber collection, and I just wanted to show that to you really quick. Today I'm going to be direct sowing, and I've stopped starting my cucumber seeds indoors. Over the past few years, I've started them way too early. The seedlings always suffer, and then by the time I plant them out and I direct sow next to them, the ones that I direct sow catch up very, very rapidly, and they grow much healthier and happier. This is what I live with every day. So today, I will be direct sowing Market More 76, and this is an old pack from Baker Creek. Since then, I bought a new Market More 76 from M.I. Gardner, which is here somewhere in my vast collection. Hang on for a second. It's like you guys don't want to hear me scream and shut up to the birds. Having birds is like having special needs children. I don't say that loosely. I grew up with a special needs person in my life, in my household. Having screaming birds is very, very similar to that. So total sidebar, if you guys think it's cool to have parrots or you're curious about having parrots, let me tell you firsthand, having parrots is a very, very difficult lifestyle. Moving back on as Mr. Buddy screams peekaboo. He is the love of my life, though, by the way. Here is the M.I. Gardner version of the Market More 76, so I have an extra pack. I'm also going to be planting Market More. Now, according to these packages, this is saying that Market More 76 is 65 to 70 days and Market More is 60 days to maturity. They both like their soil temperature to be between 70 and 85 degrees, but because we're in a microclimate, Aki, that's enough. We're in a microclimate. I know that these are going to germinate. We're pretty much past danger of frost right now, so I'm not worried about planting these out. I'm going to plant my cucumbers in succession. So today I'm going to plant out 1 or 2 seeds of each variety, and then next week I'm going to plant out some more. Because once these go through the heat, they stop really producing. So, we do have cucumbers usually through August, but the plants really suffer. So I'm going to treat cucumbers this year the same way that I do zucchini, and I'm going to plant in succession so that I know I always have a fresh one coming up. So here's Market More and Market More 76. This Burpless Beauty, you guys, this I picked up on a whim last year, and this is a wonderful, wonderful cucumber. It grew easily, it grew rapidly. The fruit is wonderful and everything that you want a cucumber to be, just like you buy from the grocery store. The Market More varieties are as well, but this Burpless Beauty I found to be wonderful. Burpless cucumbers do not contain the same chemicals that some other cucumbers do, and it doesn't really attract the cucumber beetle as much. So I've been learning to keep my cucumbers separated in different parts of the yard so that cucumbers that I know will attract more bugs I leave sitting off by themselves. One that I noticed that attracts a lot of cucumber beetles is this muncher variety. Now this is a great pickler, and last year was the first year I grew it. I put way too many in the ground because I was impatient. It says that it's 7 to 14 days to sprout, but I think mine took a little bit longer. It was more Aki. It was on the over 14-day side because I think it really just wanted the ground temperature to be over 85 degrees. This cucumber, they're saying here, like ideal temperature is 70 to 90 degrees. So if you plant the muncher variety from Baker Creek, be prepared for a little bit of a delay. This year, another new cucumber I am going to plant is the White Wonder. Now, I was looking for the silver slicer, but I really couldn't get it anywhere without paying a ridiculous amount of shipping. The cost of the shipping was more than the price of the fruit. So I couldn't find that, and I thought maybe as I was trying to get my order up for MI Gardener so that I had free shipping, I went ahead and saw this and I thought, let me try this. I'm going to harvest them while they're young and small so that I can avoid any potential bitterness. A similar cucumber to that I have had experience with over the past 2 years is the Baker Creek Dragon Egg. This is a surprisingly delicious cucumber. Its interior isn't really too gelatinous. It is very, very crisp. It holds up pretty long once you've harvested it, and I thought it was really interesting. I did not find it to be bitter as long as I took its seed and its seed gel out, and I was just dealing with the crispy part of the cucumber. I peeled it, took all the insides out, and then just had straight crunchy fruit. It was absolutely delicious. Another new cucumber that I'm adding this year is the Tender Green. Now, I bought this originally because I wanted to plant it in the greenhouse, but I just never really got around to it. This is considered a cucumber that does not need to be pollinated. You have parthocarpic and non-parthocarpic varieties of cucumbers. When they self-pollinate, you can go ahead and plant a variety like this in the greenhouse if your temperatures are right. Now, our greenhouse gets very, 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 very hot very early in the morning, but the temperatures drop really low at night. So with all the discovery of how to manage the greenhouse this year, I just never got around to this. However, I am going to sow this late in the summer in the greenhouse and see how well it does towards the end of fall, and see if I can extend my cucumber season in the greenhouse this year. And then maybe next year I'll go ahead and I'm going to start some late winter in the greenhouse as an experiment just to see what happens. So a few cucumbers that I did not add this year was I usually buy the Chef Jeff's brand from the farm market of the Whopper cucumber, which is really delicious. The Whopper cucumber is incredible. It's a very long cucumber. It's very firm, and if you let it go out into the garden, it will grow well over 12 to 15 inches, and it's not bitter. However, if you don't pull it at just the right time, it has the potential to become 2 feet long, and it then, when it gets really, really big, it goes crazy and it becomes nothing but a seed cucumber. The Chef Jeff's brand also offered another burpless English cucumber that was absolutely delicious. I'm not adding that this year because I like the one that I found from Burpee, being the Burpless Beauty. This was very, very similar to the Burpless that Chef Jeff had. Another farm stand variety I was finding was called Diva, and that was doing okay. But I decided, I planted that 1 year and I thought, I'm not going to plant the Diva cucumber again. But I did go back for the Whopper and the burpless several times. But now with all the experience I've had of adding the different cucumbers through the years, it's just one more vegetable starter that I don't have to buy at a farm stand or at a big box store. So this year, all of my cucumbers are going to be from seed, direct sowed, and I'm happy that it's one less thing taking up space as I start seedlings. All right, I just had to take a break to go out and give the birds a shower, and hopefully that will quiet them down a little bit. So also today, what I'll be planting out and starting my succession is my favorite zucchini to grow. Is either the Ferry and Morris brand or the Burpee is what we've been getting traditionally, the Black Beauty zucchini. This will grow prolifically. I highly encourage that you don't plant all of your zucchini at the same time. I have been very guilty of going out and having 8 specific circles where I plant my zucchini. And as I plant in the circles, it's like, oh, I'm going to plant 3 seeds just to make sure I get germination. And before I know it, I have 16 zucchini plants. And they all germinate, and I cannot sacrifice a seedling. So I'll be begging people, please take some zucchini. And I cook zucchini all the time, and I have more zucchini early in the year. Then I have things that I get that will go along with it. Like I like to cook eggplant with my zucchini and onions and tomatoes and everything. So I'll plant the zucchini and it grows so easily that I'll just have random zucchini, all over the counters, all through the refrigerator. And then by the time my eggplant is grown and my peppers, my zucchini is tapped out. So the vine borers come and they get in there and have their way with it, and you just all of a sudden will have wilt. Now we do hyper manage our zucchini, which is normally a forest. We can insert a clip of a video here off to the side so you can see what it looks like to have 16 zucchini trees growing at the same time. I say trees, I mean really seriously, they grow like crazy. So this year what I'm going to do is I'm only going to plant 2 seeds, and that's it, of this variety. And then next week I'll go ahead and plant another seed, so that by the time all the later successions are catching up, if the vine borer gets in at one of these or if it wilts, we'll have more coming up right behind it. Now the thing about zucchini, you guys, if this is your first time growing it or if you're having a hard time growing it, it's very important that you prune your zucchini almost daily. It keeps off any powdery mildew. It helps you to manage any kind of borers that may come along or squash bugs, so you can get a good idea just by looking at it. There's less hiding spaces for them to get in there and hide while you're trying to manage your crop. Now we will have zucchini ready probably within the next month. Things grow very, very rapidly out there. So I'll hope you follow along. Please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video, because now is when things are about to get crazy for us. A new zucchini variety that I'll be planting this year, or maybe it's just considered a squash, is organic cocozelle. I think you say it. I'm probably butchering that name. Then I bought this from Park Seed when I ordered my Park Whoppers tomato seeds for the first time. And again, the shipping and handling was more expensive than the seeds itself. So I went ahead and it was like, if you spend $10, shipping and handling is X amount. So I just bought 2 things. This was one of them. This is a beautiful, more of an heirloom looking zucchini or squash that has a lot of stripes on it. So it's like a putty green with a grayish stripe on there. So I'm going to get a few of these started as well. So right now Farmer John has arrived over by the trellises, and he's prepared to add, I don't know if you can see him out there. Let me turn the camera around. There he is. He's out there. He brought the extra pieces of wood. So we're going to secure the tops of the trellises so that we can make sure they don't fall to the side and that the tomatoes don't weigh them down. And we're going to be putting up hog panel today as well. So right now I can't believe that it's time to plant everything. So tonight I mentioned that tonight is going to be a little sketchy with the overnight low going down to about 47 degrees. I'm still going to schlep all of my tomatoes back into the safety of the greenhouse for tonight. I might plant one. I might plant my Grappoli d'Inverno, which is a very aggressive vining grape tomato that I can't wait to grow. It's going to be similar to the Borghese grape tomato, but the word d'Inverno is an indicator that it's more of a cold tolerant or a cool temperature tolerant tomato. So I'm going to look a little bit more carefully and see if that tomato is okay at 47 degrees. Even though 47 degrees is not a frost, it's still quite chilly, and I really just don't want to shock anything that's been growing happily in, climate control. So tomorrow's really the day where I will be starting to get cucumbers going. So, but anyway, a lot's going to be happening, you guys. Like I said, we're getting ready to plant out all of our tomatoes. We have all of these cucumber seedlings I'll be putting into the ground today, or direct seeds I'm direct sowing, I should say. I'm not ready to put my basil out yet. I'm going to helicopter mom that for a little while longer as I sit here and look at it. But oh my gosh, the lemon basil, you guys, smells incredible, as well as the cinnamon basil. And then there's just going to be so much going on. The peppers will go in next week, and then we'll be pruning and managing, and we're hoping that you'll come along with us to see how we support our tomatoes and how we train them and trust them and get them all clipped up. And then we'll be going to fruit soon. So we start to harvest tomatoes right around between July 5th and July 15th is usually when the tomatoes are ready to go. So, but anyway, you guys, it's a lot of information, so hopefully you'll follow along. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm going to get to work, and I'll see you guys in the next video.